हां बा काली सर अपन कहले आ तो पूजा देखिले सर हमने पूरा मस्त देते देखि हमें जाने चाहिए मैं छुट्टी के भी मुझे नहीं जानी तो कोई हो ना जो तुम कोई हो ये जो एटा कौन लागेला आज रो न्यूज़ टा देनी सर देना चश्मा देना हां यदि सो कौन देई चंद म को खोली देखि छी सर को मीटिंग था एटा बढ़िया ना सर आपण जानतो आपण तो फोटो छाडी देबे बड़ा पेन सर एटा सर कोन लाइनिंग वाला हां राइट एटा कोन देछन सर एटा इनॉग्रेट है लाइट लॉन्च सुनु काना ये संस्कार चल प्रेसिंग एटा कहां है सर एटा गोटे अछि एटा जो सर मत को रेफर कर दियो ना हम बानी छाडी दिए बड़ा बहुत प्रॉब्लम ये तो बिना पजे ए जो सेंटर फॉर एडवोकेसी एंड रिसर्च एंकर इज कहां सर एंकर थिला देखो सर एजेंडा के हमर तो एजेंडा चेंज हो जाउची सर दिस परस्पेक्टिव कम्युनिटी हेल्थ डायरेक्टर जो यार देखले जो डायरेक्टर विजय सत्य कल्याण डायरेक्टर शिवानी महांती ओएस सिम ना सुनने पर लग रहा है देखी थी चश्मा टा जाननी को ये गाड़ी रेड गला चाबी देखि दो सर बोले ନମିତା ରବୀନ୍ଦ୍ର ଆସିଛି ରବୀନ୍ଦ୍ର ଆସିଛି ତ ତାକୁ ଟିକେ କହିବ ଟିକେ ଖାଇବା ନେଇ ଆସିଥିବ ଖାଇବା କଲ ନେଇ ଆସିବ ଆଣିବ ଏବେ ନାହିଁ ସେ ଖାଇବା ଗଲେ ଆଣିବ ମୁଁ ସକାଳୁ ଆସିଛି ନା ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ କହୁଥିଲେ ଜାଣି କହିଲେ ଓଡିଆରେ ସେ ଜାଣିଛି ନା ମୁଁ देखो गीता रुकी नेक्स्ट क्या है नेक्स्ट प्रोसीड Good morning. Let's start the daily current affairs discussion today. So today's topic, first topic is about the public health. India's plan to eradicate measles rubella. India has set a target to eliminate measles and rubella okay, by 2023. Having missed the earlier deadline of 2020 due to the variety of reasons exacerbated by the disruption due to the pandemic. Because the government plan is to eliminate measles rubella from India, which each vaccine is being given to all children. Okay, but still some cases of measles rubella is still there in India. Government has prepared a plan to end it by 2023. But due to some regions, the deadline has been extended, and the major reason the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, many of such that immunization program has to be cancelled. Fine. An earlier target that was set for 2015 was also missed. It was in 2019 that India adopted the goal of measles rubella elimination by 2023, anticipating that 2020 goal could not be reached because of the ongoing pandemic. Why is target crucial? According to World Health Organization, measles virus. Okay, so according to World Health Organization, the measles virus is one of the world's most contagious human virus that kills more than 1 lakh children every year globally, and rubella is a leading vaccine preventable cause of birth defect. Fine. So through vaccine it can be prevented. Both measles and rubella can be prevented by just 2 doses of a safe and effective vaccine. Over the past 2 decades, the measles vaccine is estimated to have averted more than 30 million deaths globally as per WHO statistics. That means because of the vaccination, 30 million deaths have been avoided. In both the diseases, the symptoms are a rash and fever, rash in the skin and fever in the body. While measles has a high fertility rate, rubella infection in a pregnant woman will have an impact on the fetus, resulting in birth defects. Right. So measles is normally after birth, but to the infants and the children, but rubella infects the pregnant woman, and if the pregnant woman is affected by that, so the fetus is affected during the birth defects. What happened in 2022? From October 2022, an outbreak of measles in Maharashtra, particularly Mumbai, had the authority worried, and at least 15 children died among several hundreds who contracted the infection. Coming at the cups of a year in which 2023 India has a crucial target to achieve it perpetuate authority. So that means
Government has a target that by 2023 measles rubella will be eliminated, but 2022 cases in Maharashtra has again brought the government to a situation where government is right now worried how to bring control over this infection. Fine. Head of the Indian Expert Advisory Group for Eliminating Measles Rubella equated it to a phenomena similar to COVID-19 infections catching up in China end of 2022 since they had escaped the previous waves of infection. It is a similar phenomenon because during the winter month of 2020 and 2021, November to January, where there is a usual spurt in the case of measles, there are no outbreaks. During that period, there is no outbreak, but subsequently, the outbreak became serious. In 2022, outbreak was like epidemiological compensation. However, experts aver that this outbreak will contribute to ramping up herd immunity in the population, which along with a robust vaccination program will help achieve the necessary target. What has India done to achieve target? Expert explain, though the pandemic led to poor immunization rates, the paths India has taken in getting to where it stands now. During 2010-2013, India conducted a phased measles catch-up immunization for children aged 9 months to 10 years in 14 states, vaccinating approximately 109 million children. Mission Indradhanush was launched. So, what this mission? Be very careful about this. What is Mission Indradhanush? Mission Indradhanush is a universal immunization program. Okay, but this is it is the universal immunization program. Okay, was launched in 2014 to ramp up vaccinating the unvaccinated population during 2017 to 2021. India adopted a national strategic plan for measles and rubella elimination and introduced rubella contacting vaccines into the routine immunization program. Besides launching a nationwide measles rubella supplementary immunization activity, catching up campaign, it also transitioned from outbreak based surveillance to case-based acute fever and rash surveillance, and more than double the number of laboratory in the measles rubella network. That means how to test. So testing will lead to more care and preventing this further spread. Is the target to eliminate measles rubella achievable? According to expert, the main concern is the under 1 year population, but in India, is India able to keep up the tempo of immunization at 95% of the second dose coverage, which means the first dose cover has to be higher. It will be possible, but the trick is to do it district by district. Give in each district a target to achieve the required rate of immunization, conduct a robust fever and rash surveillance program besides testing for measles rubella. It is possible to be free of this disease as some other countries have recently demonstrated, including Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and the South Korea. It is important to provide full support to the ground level staff who implement the program, the village health nurses, ASA, accredited social health activist workers, Anganwadi and ICDS, integrated child development services worker, etc. Because through them, this can be achieved. This program can be successful with the involvement of the grassroots level people because they are the real forces in the field who can work to get these people or the children and the mother immunized, which will boost the system. Fine. In fact, experts suggest the only way to ensure a target-driven approach is successful is to make sure that the people given the tasks are happy doing their job. It needs to improve their service conditions. Target will be easier to achieve in states such as Tamil Nadu and Kerala because of the robust immunization infrastructure in the other states. Additional efforts should be taken to work towards achieving the target. WHO has expressed hope that it can reach measles rubella elimination goal in India if it strengthens surveillance by finding, investigating the and collecting and testing a sample for every suspected case in each district in every state and in a territory. Experts underline the importance of being throughout in public health outreach. Experts say a threat of infection anywhere is a threat everywhere because if the threat is anywhere because it spreads, it's a virus and it spreads, it's contagious. So it spread if it is at one place, this may spread to other places also. That is why the threat. So an invitation to the okay. So then the next topic is about this year's Republic Day and about the guest. Okay. So Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the chief guest of the Republic Day celebration 2023, so has landed in India. It's the first time that an Egyptian president has been invited as chief guest for the event. Fine. Normally, this was the first time that the president of Egypt has been invited to be the guest in the India's Republic Day celebration. Fine. An invitation to the Republic Day guest is highly symbolic from the Indian government's perspective. India has been moving strategy with hospitality to decide its chief guest for the Republic Day. The choice of chief guest every year is dictated by the number of regions, strategic and diplomatic, business interest, and international geopolitics. So factors: strategic and diplomatic importance, business interest, and international geopolitics. So what is the history of India-Egypt relation? India and Egypt share close political understanding based on long history of cooperation in bilateral, regional, and global issues. The joint announcement of establishment on diplomatic relations at the ambassador level was made on August 18, 1947. India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Egyptian President Abdel Nasser signed the Friendship Treaty between the two countries, and they were key to forming the non-alignment movement along with Yugoslavia's President Joseph Tito. Okay, when NAM was founded, since 1980, there have been four Prime Minister visits from India to Egypt. Rajiv Gandhi visited in 1985, Bibi Narasimha Rao visited in 1995. So after 10 years, I.K. Gujral visited the next 1 year in 1997, and Dr. Manmohan Singh visited in 2009. Because Egypt is a founding member of the NAM, so to attend the NAM summit, last Prime Minister who went to visit Egypt was Manmohan Singh. He went to Egypt to attend the NAM summit. From the Egyptian side, President Hosni Mubarak visited India in 1882, 1883 to attend the NAM summit hosted in India and again in 2008. A high-level exchange with Egypt continued after the 2011 Egypt revolution, and the then President Mohammad Murshid visited India in March 2013. India's External Affairs Minister visited Cairo, the capital of Egypt, in March 2012, and the Egyptian Foreign Minister visited India in December 2013. Okay, after the new government led by President Sisi took over in 2014, then Emma Susma Swaraj, External Affairs Minister, okay, Indian External Minister Sushma Swaraj visited Cairo in August 2015. PM Modi met President Sisi on the sideline of the United Nations Assembly in New York in September 2015. President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Modi met Sisi during the third India-Africa Forum Summit in New Delhi, held in 2015. So there is visit on the both the sides at the highest level. Foreign Minister, Prime Minister, Foreign Secretary, they have interacted regularly. Okay, to strengthen the relation further. President Sisi also paid a state visit to India in September 16. A joint statement was issued outlining the three pillars of political security, cooperation, economic engagement, and scientific collaboration, and cultural and people-to-people tie are the basis of new partnership for new era. Okay, what the area decided in the visit? So it is political security cooperation, right? Political security cooperation, economic engagement, and scientific collaboration, and cultural and people-to-people interaction, okay, were also topic of discussion. But was the recent engagement, Mr. Modi held a phone conversation with Sisi in April 2020 to discuss effort to halt the spread of coronavirus, and again on April 2020 to engage Idul Fitr greetings. Okay, so Idul Fitr greetings was exchanged between Prime Minister and the President. The Prime Minister expressed appreciation for the support extended by the Egyptian authority for the safety and welfare of Indian nationals during Egypt during the COVID crisis, because many Indians are in Egypt, and the government of India tried to was supported by the Egyptian government in making the community safe in Egypt. Fine. That was when the Prime Minister and the President have talked with each other. President Sisi expressed sympathy and solidarity with India during the second wave of the COVID-19 on April 30, 2021. Egypt dispatched three planes with medical supply to India on May 2021. In addition, the Embassy of India also signed an agreement to procure 3 lakh doses of remdesivir on MS Eva Pharma Egypt, which were provided well before the schedule. Fine. What the state of bilateral trade relations? Egypt has traditionally been India's one of India's most important trading partners in the African continent. So that is what India-Egypt trade. In India, Egypt bilateral trade agreement has been in operation since March 1970 and is based on the most favored nation clause. The bilateral trade has increased more than 5 times in the past 10 years. In 2018-19, it reached US dollar 4.55 billion. Despite the pandemic, the volume of trade declined only marginally to 4.5 billion in 2019-20 and 4.15 billion in 2021. Bilateral trade has expanded rapidly in 21-22, climbing to 7.26 billion dollar at 70% increase over the last financial year. That means the bilateral trade to the two sides and the last financial year was to the tune of 7.26 billion dollar, which is a very big sum. Okay, what are the other area of cooperation? The two countries will be looking at range of sectors, and agriculture will be one of the key area of cooperation. Egypt, which is facing a shortage of food grains as its major source where the war in Ukraine and Russia, want to buy wheat from India, and India will be a major supplier of wheat to to Egypt, because Egypt is facing a shortage of wheat, because earlier it get the supply of wheat from Ukraine, but the war in Ukraine has affected it, and so right now Egypt has decided to import wheat from India. Fine. The two countries will be booking a range of sectors, and agriculture will be the first study of food grain and import food grain. In May 2022, India, which has put a ban on sale of wheat, allowed export of 61,000 tons to Egypt, but the country wants more grains in view of the shortages. Egypt's president is also coming at a time when the country is facing a massive economic crisis due to depleted foreign exchange reserve in Egypt. While there has been no request for budgetary support, India is looking at increasing investment in the country, especially major infrastructure project in and around the Suez Canal in terms of special economic zones in Alexandria and Cairo. Egypt is also very important. Remember these 2 points. So, where India want to develop SEZ in Alexandria and Cairo area, the capital. Egypt is also keen to push for more tourism from India and each movement of people, so that there is more forex inflow into their tourism department economy, because there is a big potentiality for development of tourism between the two sides. Fine. So that is what is the prospect between the two countries. If explore, this can do wonderful things. Okay, with CC being a former army chief, Egypt is interested in procuring defense equipment from India, which includes the LCA, Light Combat Aircraft Tejas, missile like ACAS, DRDO's smart anti-airfield weapon, and radars. This is being developed as a part of the defense industry cooperation, and one of the markers was that Defense Minister Rajnath Singh visited Cairo in 2022 when a defense pact was signed. Egypt also has been invited to participate in the Aero India 2023 at Alanka Air Force Station in Bengaluru in February 2023. A military, just because every year India hosts a Indian military is this Aero India show, that where the air power and the inventory in the Air Force is shown to the world. Okay, so this will be projected that Egypt has been invited to attend the Aero India show 2020 to be held at the Alanka Air Force Base in India in Bangalore in February. A military contingent from the Egyptian army will participate in the Republic Day parade. So they will participate in the March past. The two countries will also look at the education sector, where Indian higher education institutions can set up campus in Egypt. A proposal for establishing an IIT in Egypt is in the work. So to extend Indian IIT wing to Egypt. Is there a political significance of CC's visit? An invitation to the Egyptian president is being considered significant, especially when India ties with Muslim majority country, attested due to controversial remarks made by the BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma in June 2022 that Egypt was one of the few countries from the Arab world which did not react officially to the remarks, was not lost on India. Top clerics, the Grand Mufti of Egypt and the Al Azhar University, the top seat of learning of Sunni Islam, has condemned those remarks. But India's view Egypt as a moderate Islamic voice, which has made an attempt over the years to play a nuanced and positive role in the 57-member Organization of Islamic Cooperation, where India has been invited also. The Pakistan has managed to get some India-centric condemnatory resolutions, but Egypt is a protection available to India at this particular forum, because this can be to some extent controlled over there. Then the next topic is about the norovirus, another pandemic issue. The Kerala High Court Department recently confirmed two cases of the gastrointestinal infection norovirus in a class 1 student in Ernakulam district of Kerala. The two subgroups are tested after 62 persons developed symptoms such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, vomiting, nausea, a high temperature, headache, and body ache. What is norovirus and how common are infections? Norovirus is not new. It has been circulating among humans for over 50 years and is thought to be one of the primary cause of gastroenteritis. The virus is estimated to kill 2 lakh persons globally every year, with most deaths occurring among those below the age of 5 years and those above the age of 65 years. Okay, so norovirus is not new. It has been circulating among humans for over 50 years and is thought to be one of the primary cause of gastroenteritis. The virus is estimated to kill 2 lakh person. Okay, did globally every year, with most death occurring among those below the age of 5 years and those over the age of 65 years. The virus is capable of surviving low temperature and outbreak tend to be more common during the winter and in colder countries. That is why it is sometimes referred to as winter vomiting disease. What? This is otherwise known as the winter vomiting diseases because this took place normally this spread in the winter and vomiting, nausea, headache, and fever being a cause, it is called the winter vomiting disease. The reported case of norovirus has seen a decline in United Kingdom during the pandemic, likely due to lax surveillance. But number has since picked up at a 48% higher incidence of the reported cases than expected was reported by the UK Health Security Agency. Okay, so Health Security Agency in 2022. Fine. The 2022 studies said that norovirus infection are more frequently detected in high-income country, with most 40% cases being seen in long-term care facility. In contrast, the case in India have mostly been detected in setting like schools and hostels where people share food. So where food sharing is there, so this is more frequent in those areas where food is shared. Now, ଭୁଲି ଯାଇଥିଲି କହିବା ପାଇଁ ଆଜି ଅଛି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଅଛି କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଆଜି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଚାଲିଛି ହବା କାହାକୁ ବି ଫୋନ୍ ଅଛି ହଉ ହଉ ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଛି ଏଇ Okay. So, in 2022, studies say that norovirus infection are more frequently treated in the high-income countries, with almost 40% cases being seen in long-term care facility. In contrast, the cases in India have mostly been detected in setting like schools and hostels where people share food. That means this it spreads through sharing of the foods. What is the incidence in India? Cases of norovirus are not as common in India as in many other places. The infection has been reported in previous years as well, mainly from southern India and especially from Kerala. In 2016, a study by the Christian Medical College, Vellore, that followed a birth cohort of 373 of the 3 years detected 1856 diarrheal episodes and 147 vomiting episodes. The study said that norovirus was detected only 11.2% of the diarrheal episode and 22.4% of the vomiting episodes. That means very insignificant, very less. In 2021, study from Hyderabad reported that norovirus was detected in 10.3% sample of children who come in the with acute gastroenteritis. Fine. The reported cases of norovirus have been on the rise in recent years. Once the reason could well be that we have not looking for the virus previously. Okay, and so the institute follows a syndromic approach to testing a patient sample, making clinical decisions based on a patient's symptoms and signs rather than testing for one viral infections that the treating doctor might suspect. The research team have a panel for detecting 83 different viruses. Instead of testing for COVID-19 or flu, they will test for 12 viral infections that can cause respiratory symptoms. Or if the physician say that a person has gastrointestinal symptoms, they will run a parallel panel of 6 or 7 viruses. That is how it end up picking up cases of norovirus. If institute started doing genomic sequencing of the samples, more viruses are likely to be detected. So it is not a that very big issue in India, but still precautions have been taken by the health institutions, the research institutions, to ensure that no norovirus cases is reported and it is eliminated at the earliest. But why the infection so common in Kerala especially? It is probably has more to do with Kerala's strength than any weakness. The state has a strong public health system that is capable of picking up cluster to infections and getting them tested quickly. Because it's not that Kerala has more cases, but in Kerala the diagnosis is more. Because the diagnosis is more, so that led to जो टाइम रे आसुछन क्लास आज के तो आउट सेकंड के क्लास मीटिंग मीटिंग फोन के तो एप्लीकेशन ଗୋଟେ ଦେଇଛି ନେକ୍ସଟ ମାସରେ କରିବି ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ଲାସରେ କରିବି देखो ना नेक्स्ट क्लास में कौन ऑप्शन दो ऑप्शन का डिसाइड करो डिसाइड करके एप्लीकेशन ऑप्शन का डिसाइड करके दियो ना एटा में ऑप्शन एक कस्टमर एरिया से कर ये ठीक है कैनेडा की क्लास में कैनेडा फिलिंग ने के सारे अपने ऑप्शन में ऑप्शन डिसाइड करके दो ठीक है ऑप्शनल ऑब्जेक्शन So, can norovirus infection cause a large-scale outbreak? Even though more cases of norovirus are being detected, experts say that this is unlikely to lead to a large-scale outbreak like a pandemic or even epidemic. Although it have not studied the epidemiological correlates of these cases, what experts have been in is that the norovirus cases are sporadic and found in small clusters in schools or hostels where people consume the same food. The spread of infection is also self-limiting. It is an individual's problem, not a public health issue. So this normally is not, it's not that endemic. Its spread is completely limited to specific areas where they share common foods. That is why hostel schools are more endemic to this. Norovirus, which lead to diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and abdominal pain, being a diarrheal disease, can also lead to dehydration. So drinking plenty of fluid is recommended. Infection can be transmitted through foods contaminated with this virus, touching surface that are contaminated with the virus, and then touching the mouth and being in direct contact with someone with the infection, like taking care of them and sharing foods and utensils with them. Good hand hygienic is the best way to prevent infection. Wash hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Hand sanitizers are thought to not work too well against coronavirus or norovirus. So during the coronavirus, you have a very simple trick. So to use the hand wash as a precaution. But in case of norovirus, this hand washing will not this uh, that this use of sanitizer will not be effective. Rather, hand washing is mostly recommended for this particular type of infection. Fine. So good hand hygiene is most important, and can other infection can be transmitted by food. It is suggested that a sick person not prepare food for others. All food items should be carefully washed and cooked at high temperature. The norovirus can survive temperature as high as 60 degrees Celsius, so cooking should be a high temperature. Area where a sick person has vomited or had diarrhea should be cleaned using disinfectant or bleaching powders. Then the next topic that we are going to take is the green comet appearing near Earth after nearly 50,000 years and next estimated to come close to us after as many years. It might be possible to see a recently discovered green comet in the next week between January 27 to February 2023. Okay, that is called the green comet. The comet is estimated to come closest to Earth around February 2nd, 2023. Termed the C 2022 E3 FT, ZTF. The comet was named to refer to those who first spotted it. Astronomers using the wide field survey camera at the Zwick Transient Facility in US in March 2022. NASA has said the comet could be visible with telescope and binoculars and might even be visible to naked eyes under the clean night sky. क्लास रे गोटे ऑनलाइन क्लास अछि साइज Okay, so NASA has said that the comet could be visible with telescopes and binoculars and might even be visible to the naked eye under the clear night sky. What is green comet? After approaching the sun in the middle of January, it is now moving away from it along with its own orbit. The orbit indicates it comes from an edge of our solar system, a distance reservoir of comet as well as the Oort cloud. The Oort cloud is thought to be a big spherical region of outer space involving our sun, consisting of innumerable small objects such as the comets and asteroids. NASA terms it the most distant region of our solar system and home of the comets. The green comet could be at the distance of 2.5 light minutes from Earth, meaning a mere 27 million miles away from the Earth, and it is moving towards the Earth. When and where can the green comet be seen? NASA stated that if this one continues its occurrence trend in brightness, it will be easy to spot with telescope, binoculars, and in some cases even in the unaided eyes under dark skies. Observer in the northern hemisphere will find the comet in the morning sky as it moves swiftly towards the northwest into the January. It will become visible in the southern hemisphere in early February. In Indian sky, when looking in the northernmost direction, one might spot it 60 degrees above the horizon in the Boots constellation. But with light of building and street light on, it can be difficult to make it out without equipment. The virtual telescope project will be hosted a free live stream of the comet C 2022 E3 ZTF on February 1st at 11 p.m. EST or 9:30 a.m. on January 31. Okay. Why is green in color? Comets are frozen, rocky or gas-filled objects that are remnants of the formation of solar system. Due to their composition, characteristics and the path they move in, they tend to leave a light behind them. Here the comet itself is green, called the head of the comet, and emits a whitish light behind it, often called as the tail of the comet. Okay. So just like other bodies in space, comet also have orbits. They sometimes pulled in close to the sun because of the sun's gravity. Okay. At times they are pulled towards the sun. Okay. Due to the gravity of the sun. NASA explained that as they orbit near the sun, they heat up and spew gases and dust in the glowing head that can be larger than planets. The remains of their dust following this burning off from the distance look like a tail of light to human on Earth. That's why it is called the comet has a tail. Comet therefore have often been seen giving out blue or whitish green light. Okay, so when they are near to the visible to the Earth. In this case, the green glow is thought to arise from the presence of diatomic carbon, pairs of carbon atoms that are bound together in the head of the comet. The molecule emits green light when excited by the ultraviolet ray in solar radiation. Is the green comet rare? Coming under the category of long period comets, which takes more than 200 years to orbit the sun, the green comet is not easily spotted. With a highly elliptical orbit, the comet will head back to the Oort cloud and make its next appearance roughly 50,000 years later. But given this their orbit, it is not unique for comets to reappear close to Earth only after many years because their path on the orbit is too long. Okay. Then the next topic is law on lawyers advertising their work. So because law is a profession, so the people engage in that at times they advertise their work, what they do and what benefit. So who are supposed to get the benefit from their work. The Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association, okay, condemned business magazine Forbes India's decision to publish a legal power list of the top 25 advocates on record. So the Forbes magazine has published a list of 25 persons, okay, so who have been done excellent work in the legal fraternity. Okay, the that Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association SCAORA unanimously passed a resolution denouncing the list as misleading and unauthorized information after its executive committee received a complaint. This agency, the SCAORA, said the list was a clear case of misrepresentation and undetermined, and the interest of Supreme Court, the that advocate on record AOR. Okay, it is the law on lawyers advertising their work in India. Lawyers and legal practitioners are not allowed to advertise their work. The Advocate Act 1961 empowers the Bar Council of India to make rules with respect to the standard of professional conduct and ethic to be observed by the advocates. The Bar Council of India rules published in 1975 prohibits lawyers from advertising their work. The signboard, nameplate, or statutory should not be indicative that he has been president or member of Bar Council or any association of that he has been associated with any persons or organization or with any particular cause or matter, or that he specializes in any particular type of worker, or that he has been a judge or an advocate general. This cannot be advertised by the advocate in his signboard. An advocate who violates these rules can be faced punishment for professional or other misconduct under the Advocates Act. Following a challenge in the Supreme Court to the constitutionality validity of the Rule 36 of the Act in the BB Joshi versus of India, the restrictions were somewhat relaxed. In 2008, Rule 36 was amended. The advocates
It's a class question.
Okay. The advocate were allowed to provide their names, contact details, post-qualification experience, enrollment number, specialization, and area of practice in other website in their website and approved by the Bar Council of India. But what they can publish must be approved by the Bar Council of India. Then it can be published. We can publish it. Okay. What is the solution in the other countries? Lawyers can legally advertise their services in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the European Union. Okay, the next is the question. Examine the influence of Indian art and culture on Southeast Asian civilization. Indian art and culture have had a significant influence on the civilization of the Southeast Asia. The spread of Indian culture to Southeast Asia can be traced back to the ancient maritime trade routes between India and Southeast Asia, which lead to the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices. Indian art and culture have had a lasting impact on the development of Southeast Asian civilization, particularly in the area of religion, architecture, and literature. Influence of Indian art, okay, and religion. One of the most significant way in which Indian culture has influenced Southeast Asian region is through religion, because Buddhism. The spread of Buddhism from India to Southeast Asia is well documented and had a profound impact on the development of Southeast Asian civilization. The earliest Buddhist kingdom in Southeast Asia, such as those in present-day Myanmar and Thailand, were heavily influenced by Indian Buddhism, and the king of these kingdoms were patrons of Buddhism and built many Buddhist temples and monasteries. Hinduism. Hinduism was also introduced in Southeast Asia through Indian traders and monks, and it has a significant impact on the religious belief and practices of many Southeast Asian nations. The temples and shrines of Southeast Asia also display Indian-inspired motifs and designs, and many Southeast Asian kings and rulers were also heavily influenced by the Indian Hinduism. Then architecture. Indian architecture also had a significant influence on Southeast Asian civilization. The use of Indian architectural style and techniques can be seen in the construction of temples and other religious buildings in Southeast Asia. That means, for example, the architecture of Angkor Wat in Cambodia is heavily influenced by Indian style and techniques. The largest Hindu temple of the world devoted to Lord Vishnu in Angkor Wat in Cambodia. And the temple complex is considered to be one of the biggest examples of Indian influence architecture in Southeast Asia. The Angkor Wat temple in Cambodia is a temple devoted to Lord Vishnu. Literature and artistic influence. Indian literature also had an impact on Southeast Asian civilization. The Ramayana and Mahabharata, two great Indian epics, have been widely adapted in Southeast Asia, and version of these stories can be found in many Southeast Asian countries. The stories have been adapted to reflect the local culture and belief, but the influence of Indian literature can still be seen in the themes of the characters used in these adaptations. Coming to the conclusion, so Indian art and culture have had a significant influence on Southeast Asian civilization. The spread of Indian culture to Southeast Asia can be traced back to the ancient maritime trade routes and has had a lasting impact on the development of Southeast Asian civilizations. Indian culture has influenced Southeast Asia in the area of religion, architecture, and literature, and its influence can still be seen in the region today. Okay, so that is what the spread of Indian culture and architecture in the Southeast Asian region. Starting from India, they have spread to the Southeast Asian regions and spread Indian culture over there. Fine. Then come to the questions. Consider the following statement regarding measles rubella. Rubella is a contagious, generally mild viral infection that occurs most often in children and young adults. Measles is a highly contagious viral disease and is caused by death among young children globally. Bhutan is the first country in the WHO South Asian region to eliminate measles. Here all the three are correct. Fine. 1, 2, 3. So answer will be D, because all the three options 1, 2, and 3 are correct in this. Okay, then coming to question number 2, which of the following refers to India by the Nile festival? Consider the following. It is a cultural festival celebrated annually in Egypt. The Nile River is in Egypt. The festival is produced by Indian government and supported by all India that all the countries which Nile River flows through. Okay, here only two is correct. Okay, so and so two is incorrect. One is correct. Okay, so not by Indian government but by the Egyptian government. So one is correct. So incorrect is two. So option is B. Then with reference to the norovirus, often mentioned in news, consider the following statement. It is an animal-borne disease transmitted through contaminated water and food.